Hey guys, so it's here bringing you another video. No, welcome to another Challenger or replay or Challenger breakdown. Today we're watching Orianna because I'm kind of like going into the conversation of, is Orianna, and again, feel free to put your comments down below, League's most balanced champion. What I mean by that is she has strengths to her, no doubt, and there are going to be some people that think that, oh, she's actually pretty good. But to me, she's never really been overpowered. She's never really been underpowered. And she works in most comps. You have a team fight comp, Orianna. You have a poke comp, it's not terrible. You've got a siege comp, not bad. Like, she kind of works in everything. And because she's never been overpowered, yeah, she's been strong, but I wouldn't call her overpowered. I wouldn't say she's ever been ridiculously weak. She's always been there. You know, I've always said to people, when people go, oh, Huz, I'm going to start picking up mid lane, any recommendations on what champions to play? Orianna. Annie and Orianna are my go-tos in mid lane. Annie is kind of like the beginner one. Orianna when you want to get things a little bit more advanced. Those two have always been my mid picks for recommendations. It's because I think Orianna is just really good. Big thing happening in bot lane, by the way. Seraphine Ashe having a little bit of a fight. Rakan flashes into a Seraphine, and Orianna is there to say hello, good morning, how you do. And this is very nice by Lee Sin. Lee Sin actually gave Orianna that kill. He W'd, if you're wondering, what the hell did that Lee Sin do? He W'd the Rakan to make sure he got himself an assist. And then when he added himself an assist, he just gave the kill to Orianna. What I also liked about this game, by the way, is it's a challenger game. Top 10 challenger, I think. And why is it not letting me just stay on the Orianna, please? There we go. Sometimes the camera has a mind of its own. You know... It has, sorry, the reason why I like this replay, it's a challenger game, top 10 challenger, and it also has picks in this game that are known to be strong, even on the enemy team. So, Sylas mid lane, still one of the strongest mid laners, and I think he's kind of like, well, he's a divisive champion, because I think there's either, well, I don't think anybody thinks he's weak, but I think there are a lot of people that think that, oh my god, he's ridiculously overpowered, and then the other group of people go, ah, he's kind of strong. I don't think people think he's weak, because well, he's not weak. But there's him. Kayn, very strong champion right now. And I also will say, in all the testing that we've done on PBE, of a champion that I would even use the word overpowered. And people know, I do not use the word overpowered lightly. I find most YouTubers use it to clickbait and not tell the truth. So I try to avoid the word overpowered, if anything. So when I say the word overpowered about a champion, hopefully people know I am deadly serious. In all my testing on PBE, in all the matches that we've done, and not all of them have been uploaded, Kayn is overpowered. That champion's nuts. But he's in this game, and obviously running blue Kayn because he's got Dark Harvest. And then Wukong. Again, Wukong was a World's Final pick. Just reminding people, we did obviously the first 2 games of the World's Final. I will be recording more of that probably tomorrow. And then getting those games over and done with over the weekend. So, yeah. Right, Orianna doing a bit more damage. Can she do the flash? No, she's not going to go for it. I don't even think an auto attack would have finished it off. Kayn is looking to come mid lane. Probably not a gank, maybe just holding the lane. But so far, so good for an Orianna. And this is something that an Orianna can do quite effectively, is poke. You know, she isn't the highest range champion, but she's got high, kind of not mobility, but she's got high movement speed. Her W speeds her up. This Orianna is also running phase rush. Sylas looking kind of aggressive, but not overly. But she's running Phase Rush, so she can kind of go for these poke harassments and get a few more auto attacks in than a normal mage. And reminding people, Orianna's passive is Orianna's attacks, auto attacks, deal bonus magic damage. Subsequent attacks against the same target within 4 seconds deal more magic damage. So she has a really good auto attack passive that a lot of people forget about. Meanwhile, Sylas roams up to the river and gets himself a kill on the Lee Sin. So all the work that Orianna's done so far, more farm, poked him out, got him to, you know, teleport out of lane early. Unfortunately, the Lee Sin has just gone and given him a kill and a red buff. So I presume the Orianna probably would have been a bit like, really, dude? Come on. Sylas going to start looking for these all-ins, obviously. Again, red buff, look at the damage. Technically a positive trade for Sylas there. But can Orianna poke the Sylas enough to make it not terrible? Anyway, really good bait, actually, by the Orianna. Now Sylas is definitely in trouble. Nearly dead, is going to go down. Nice revenge kill by the Lee Sin there on the Sylas. And I will say, people are, oh, the Orianna was dead if Lee Sin wasn't there. That play only happened because Lee was in the area, and Orianna kind of baited that to happen. She could have flashed the E, she could have dodged the E. She took it because she wanted Sylas to be closer to her tower, also closer to Lee Sin. A lot of people always kind of forget those points, going, if the jungler wasn't there, I would have killed that guy. Most likely, more often than not, the person that you could have killed would not have put themselves in a bad situation unless they knew the jungler was there. It's something that, yeah, a lot of players do forget about. Anyway, Orianna doing the tier build, by the way, which has seeming to become the more modern build for Orianna. And I still kind of, in my mind, I still prefer Ludens, but I know it's technically stronger to go Seraphs and into, you know, the big scaling item. Because Ludens just gives you nice poke for lane phase, but the reason why people are going beyond that is, yeah, they're going beyond it for the late game. Seraphs has better scaling than Ludens. Also has better mana and everything like that, so and has a shield. So that's why you are seeing people on Orianna going away from the Ludens and going on to the Seraphs. And Orianna, with how much she uses her Q and everything, which doesn't really cost much mana, she can stack it pretty quickly as well. But yeah, also worth noting the game itself on her team, they do have a Seraphine locked in, support by the way, and that does seem to be, even though Riot has already come out and saying they don't really want that to happen, it's going to. She is going to be a support. Like, I really don't see her being a mid-mage. It's another example of a mid laner going to that role. We've seen it time and time again in League history. Zyra, Hell Swain at the moment, Brand, all of those champions are designed to be mids, and she's not probably going to go mid. Which does, you know, obviously, I personally think the main reason Riot probably doesn't want her to go support is then it really is Sona 2.0. If she was mid, then it's like, oh no, it's a mid version, like it's different. If it's a support, then, you know, no offense to Sona players, but why would you play Sona over Seraphine? She is really a better version. They practically have the same ult, and Seraphine's is just better. More often than not with Sonas, you have to flash ultimate because the range isn't very high. Seraphine's is much longer. So, and she does more damage, I would probably wager, than a Sona. So that's probably why Riot doesn't want it to happen, but I think it's inevitable. But there's that. Right, Urgot also in top lane, by the way. Not a bad champion. He's just, I don't know, I played a lot of Urgot, and if you want to actually hear the main reason I stopped playing Urgot, by the way, everybody, and this is the honest truth. Meanwhile, Sylas going all in, steals Orianna's ultimate, is maybe going to get the kill. Flashing happening. Oh, big ultimate by Orianna. Not going to happen because he kind of whipped around the wrong way for the ultimate. That was close, though. One more tower hit, maybe. But she will survive in the end. But yeah, Sylas, completely full health, by the way. Like, didn't lose any health. Blue buff is going to the Ori, so that's very nice and actually surprising by the Lee Sin. They also just noticed Lee Sin's name. Charming. But yeah, like, I don't know. Sylas, to me, is a very strong champion. But what was I saying? I can't remember. Oh, Urgot. The main reason I stopped playing Urgot, because of YouTube. His views were always pretty bad. You guys apparently just didn't like watching him. And I know there's going to be comments going, I loved watching him. Obviously, yeah. Some people did, but a lot of people didn't. And his views never did great. And I will say, because of the YouTube channel recently, and I've mentioned it a couple of times, I don't want to sound like a broken record, the YouTube channel, for whatever reason, has not done great in the last 2 months. We're still fine, you know, to be my job, we're still completely fine, but it's noticeable the views have gone down. I, as an individual, have also kind of stopped caring about what I'm uploading, not in a negative way. I'm uploading what I think is good and what I'm happy with. You know, that's why there's sometimes Call of Duty here on the main channel. It's because I'm just having fun. So if I want to play something that, you know, historically didn't do very well on the YouTube channel, I think I'm just going to. If I think I can climb with it and do well with it, and if you guys remember, last year I was pushing Master and got Master on my main account. There were so many complaints when I was even playing Jace a lot. And it was like, okay, you know, it's hurting my climb, you know, when I'm this high rating, not playing my best champions, but the YouTube comments started complaining about it, so naturally, what did I do? Start to diversify again. I'm probably going to stop doing that. I'm probably just going to start doing exactly what I want to do, and that probably overall will help the YouTube channel anyway. But we'll see what happens in pre-season. A lot of testing to happen, a lot of what I'm going to be playing in Season 11, and seeing what's good, what's bad, what do I like. And then obviously in January, we'll actually have the new season itself and the new climb. Hopefully this time, and Season 10 will be better. To me, it can't really be much worse than... Oh, sorry, Season 11 will be better. It can't really be much worse than Season 10. But we will see. Hopefully, I am optimistic, so that's good. But anyway, if you do also enjoy these, by the way, please do throw a like on them. That we will be maintaining doing Challenger Spectates in pre-season, by the way, for the very basic reason we are here to learn from better players than me. I'm pretty confident that I can break these down to a decent level and tell you why and what's going on. So when we're in pre-season, we're all going to have to learn new builds. We're going to have to know the reasonings behind those builds. So a good thing to do will be continuing Challenger Spectate and seeing what they're building. Anyway, enemy team going all in. Orianna ultimate with them, the Kayn ultimate, and she's just going to get absolutely murdered. Lee Sin trying to get a return kill. He probably shouldn't go for that. Sylas steals the Lee Sin ult in case he went in to kick him away. But yeah, that's a lot of damage. Wukong does a nice dodge. Can he survive the Urgot damage though? Most likely no. The ultimate also hits, and that's a dead Monkey, who is currently, by the way, 1-4. Urgot 4-0. I don't think, well, put it this way, when I saw Wukong was picked in Worlds, on the Worlds final for that matter, I was surprised. I don't think he's crazy strong right now. And Urgot, what you'd imagine, what is Urgot good against? He's very good against melee champions because they have to run into his shotgun knees. Anything that has to run into a shotgun knee of Urgot is most likely, unless you win an all-in, not going to come off very well. But yeah, so Orianna completing her Archangel Staff has already, there you go, like I said, she has very quick stacking of it, already over 400 bonus mana stacked for her Archangel. Obviously, eventually, when it's stacked up, she gets to Seraphs, which then makes the item better with also giving you a shield. Farm-wise, Orianna naturally doing quite well. 119 farm, most farm in the game. Sylas a little bit lower on that number because Sylas did roam a little bit to get the Lee Sin in the jungle or the river. And obviously the range versus melee matchup, especially in the early game, is quite advantageous for Orianna. Obviously now Sylas, you can already see his damage is kind of crazy without even a completed item. So he can play quite aggressive. Red team double kill. Kayn on the back foot to an Ashe. Orianna coming over. May have shown her cards a bit too quick, but what can Ashe do? Orianna confirming herself for an assist by putting the shield, or the E, which is the shield, on the Ashe, and that will be that. So nice triple kill technically for the Ashe there. I guess they tried a tower dive, and it didn't go too good. They did get the Seraphine. I have no idea what that noise was. I think it was something to do in top lane, and they do get the Urgot because Sylas was there. Rakan trying to wave clear. Not going to do too much of it. Orianna ultimate coming through with then there's the double E from Seraphine. And I will also say another thing with Seraphine. I even played the champion yesterday. Wasn't on an upload, unfortunately. All I would say is I was playing PvE games. Unfortunately, in between some of the matches, I got some bad news. So I stopped making videos, but I continued playing. We played a game of Seraphine. I got very fed. But I was so... Her damage wasn't impressive. And I was very fed that game. Like, a normal mage that was like 10 kills would be one-shotting things, right? Not with Seraphine. Her damage is kind of meh. And that was PvE. So that was the new items, which are, for mages, I think are actually extremely strong. And she got her recent buff that buffed her mid lane, nerfed her support. So that was with that buff and also the mid lane items that are strong. I wasn't impressed by her damage at all, which is another reason why she might be a better support, because I don't think she has the actual carry power that a mid laner needs. Unless, you know, again, if Riot just completely buff the champion, then there you go. That might be the answer. All right, Rakan up in top lane. A bunch of people are actually up in top lane looking for the Urgot potentially. Seraphine and Ashe in mid looking for the Ezreal. The ultimate by Seraphine lands, and she gets the kill alongside the Ashe. Blue buff taken by Orianna, and now she's going to go bot lane. So now you're seeing the stage of the game, which is all about, like, maximize gold income. So we've got the bottom lane tower. Send the bottom lane mid, because they're the best at killing the tower. Send the Orianna bot lane. You continue farming down there, getting solo XP. Us, the bot lane, will go mid lane to try and get the tower. Hopefully continue keeping, you know, pressure on the map. And, yeah, Orianna's definitely dead. She's flashing too late. She's doing decent damage, but I don't see her surviving. Decent, again, a lot of damage. But, yeah, the Kayn has seeming to want to kill the Orianna quite a bit this game. Because combining both of their damages together, it is pretty much an easy kill. Urgot trying his best to fend off the dive. What can he do? Not enough. He will go down. But although that happened, the Red team, Orianna's team, did pick up the dragon, so swings and roundabouts, not the worst situation in the world. But obviously worth noting, you know, the game itself is not going great for blue team overall. Well, who is still 5-1? The Kayn. Even pre-PBE, and I'm saying, you know, on the PBE testing that champion's overpowered. I'm not saying current Kayn is overpowered. He's still very strong. Very popular champion, blue and red Kayn. I personally do think red Kayn is overall better for solo queue, but obviously there are still blue Kayn players, and generally blue Kayn players would be the very confident player, the smurf, whatever you want to call it, that thinks that they can snowball, you know, every game. Because the thing with Kayn, you actually have to commit to blue or red before the game begins because of your build. Blue Kayn kind of needs Dark Harvest to get the maximum DPS for being an assassin, and red Kayn wants Conqueror for sustain. So you're taking that before the game. So you're basically, Kayn is two different champions at champion select because you have to build them two different ways before the game begins. Are you picking the Bruiser Kayn in champion select, or are you building the assassin one? Pick one. You can't really mix them very well. Anyway, sieging is occurring, and we mentioned earlier that Orianna, yes, she's good at team fighting. She's good at poking here or there. She's also very good at sieging. So that's why, you know, if this YouTube video is called "Is Orianna League's Most Balanced Champion?" or something along those lines, I truly believe she probably is. I just can't really name another champion that like ticks all the boxes that Orianna does. She works in every type of comp, pretty much. She's not overpowered. She's not underpowered. She's skill-based. She's not a free champion to play at any time. You know, you can whiff your ultimate, and that costs you a team fight, for example. So she just kind of ticks all the boxes. She's skill-based with also being strong but not overpowered. Like, I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. And if she isn't your most overpowered champion, or not most balanced champion, what is? To you, what is the most balanced champion in League of Legends? I'd actually be interested to know. Anyway, she is, and as you'll mention, as I'll mention sometimes in Challenge Spectates, side laning. This is something that I need to personally get better of when I'm especially playing mid lane, or even top lane, is maintaining a side lane as the solo carry. Mid and top need to continue side laning or solo laning to make sure that their XP lead of the rest of the game is maintaining. Often you'll see me as a Shen or a mid lane mage not go to side lane, stay in mid lane or stay together with my team, and then I will get out XP'd by my lane opponent, who I may have even been winning and beating in lane phase. So that is something that I personally know is a weakness of mine as a player, and the reason why it's there, and I've said it for ages, is I don't naturally trust my teammates. When it comes to even split pushing, and not even just pure split pushing, just split laning and farming, you're farming there and your team gets caught, and you're like, oh really? I hate that feeling. I genuinely hate that feeling, because you feel helpless of winning the game if you're farming still like you should be, and your team is like, oh, we're dead again. Orianna teleport comes in, gets an ultimate off. They do manage to get a double kill for Lee Sin. Sylas coming in and getting the Lee. Sylas does have Orianna ultimate on top of him, by the way, and the way that it works, if you haven't seen already, is when he presses R for Orianna ultimate, it spins around him as it would if Orianna just pressed R without moving her ball. Pretty effective ultimate to steal, though, to be honest. Ashe ultimate coming through, looking for the Wukong. He actually decoys it, which is a good use of his W, and that will most likely be the fight for now, with a slight advantage to red team. A 2-kill, actually now evens. Even Stevens, 3 for 3, never mind. Ezreal getting himself his first kill on the board. And there we go. Worth noting, the Orianna has already, and actually for a little while, completed her Seraphs, which is pretty good. And her item build at the moment is a little bit split. So she has Zhonya components, and she also has Lichbane components. Kayn, look at that damage, by the way. One shot, is going to die, though, in the end. He did flash for that very, obviously, aggressive playstyle. Does get the kill on Seraphine by basically one-shotting her. And then obviously, yeah, she's a support. She's going to be squishy. But at pre-20 minutes, basically already one-shotting things. To me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not modern with League of Legends. I think that's crazy. Even like something like Rengar in his prime day didn't really one-shot things pre-20 minutes. Late game, sure. After 3 items, sure. Kayn has 2 items if you're including the jungle item, not 3. I think it's just a bit too early for that much damage, but that's just me. Lee Sin, by the way, also doing an incredibly aggressive build. Whoa! The steal has happened. Lee Sin not happy. Well done to Ezreal. Does get that steal. And that's unfortunate, actually. Good, but well played by him. Orianna continuing the farm side laning, making sure she obviously isn't stopping her XP. And, you know, Silas, by the way, he's level 13 as well. He's maintaining high farm too. Decent farm with high XP. That's the way I should probably say that. But Orianna right now, if I'm not mistaken, is the highest person in the game. Highest level 14. All the other solo laners are level 13. Lee Sin level 13 as well, just above the level 12 Kayn. And there is a fight breaking out near this area. And Lee Sin having a bit of a fight. Seraphine with her ultimate. Big ultimate by her. And that is, to be honest, I would say the main thing with this champion is two abilities. It's the E and the ultimate. When you're combining those two together, it's fantastic. The ultimate first, by the way, to get the charm. That counts as a CC. Then use your double E if it's available. And that then turns into a stun of all of the enemies that you hit. And because it's a massive AoE, you can hit all the enemies without even it being that hard. That's, I think, the strength of the champion. Her damage, to me, is a little bit lackluster. But when it comes to playing her support, again, you don't need that high damage because you're the support. Your job isn't to do the crazy one-shot damage like an Orianna can do, or whatever. Again, Orianna still maintaining side lane. Oh, her build is interesting. Okay, so she's actually gone for the Spellbinder second item. I was actually wondering what she was doing. Was she doing Lich Bane or not? Which you can build, by the way. But no, she's doing Spellbinder. It's a great item if you remember to use it before you press your ultimate. So again, if you're not familiar with the item, the number that you see on it is stacks. Meanwhile, Orianna doing a big ultimate, a little bit preemptive, doesn't get the Wukong actually hitting it. The ultimate gets stacks. Sorry, the item gets stacks. And when you press it, it gives you ability power and decaying movement speed, so a burst of movement speed. So currently, if she pressed it, it would give her 66 ability power bonus for a few seconds. So what you do is you press it, then use your big damage spell, and it basically just empowers your big damage spell, which obviously is quite good. Worth also noting, we haven't mentioned her runes. Phase Rush, Mana Flow Band, Transcendence with Gathering Storm, so a very good scaling build. This is what, and obviously that's why she's done Seraphs. But then also Biscuit Delivery with Inspiration, Cosmic Insight, cooldown reduction, and then Attack Speed, Ability Power, Magic Resist. So why is the attack speed there? Melee, well, one, it's not bad to do if you're a mage in a melee matchup, so you get to auto-attack them more. But we already spoke about it earlier. Her passive increases in damage the more auto attacks you get on the same target within 4 seconds. So attack speed is actually pretty good for Orianna. I actually have seen some Oriannas, as crazy as it sounds, build a Gnasher's Tooth. I've seen it. If you can reliantly auto attack a lot on the same target, it ain't bad. Anyway, our red team is starting to siege once again. Seeing what they can do, but you know, the top lane, if you look over on the mini-map, it is relatively pushed for the enemy team, but I don't think that's going to bother them too much unless they saw like a Wukong go there and starts a split push, which I doubt he's going to do because he's down here. And yeah, let's see what happens. The Baron buff is still on red team. What you can do with Orianna, obviously, nice little route there by Seraphine. You can put your ball aggressive, so you can put your ball near the tower if you wanted to, and that sends a signal. Or, oh, Seraphine ultimate comes through, by the way. Rakan looking for an engage. Lee Sin kicks Rakan away. He's going to go down to the Orianna. Big fight breaking now. Orianna doing a lot of damage, actually. Lee Sin looking for it. Orianna doesn't actually, actually doesn't too bad. Kayn isn't actually getting anything. Never mind, he gets one kill. Orianna staying, maintaining the push. The Ashe is in the enemy base, and that will be the fight overall. Ashe Arrow comes through. Orianna picks up the kill on Ezreal, and that is most likely the game, I would imagine, with Kayn obviously surviving right at the end. And yes, there's the surrender vote. But there we go. 5-2-8 Orianna. I can also tell you this game she did the most damage in the game. Not by a lot, but she did. And that, to me, is just a stereotypical, decent Orianna performance. You know, you don't see Oriannas a lot of the time go 20-0 or 15-0 or that much. She's just a decent mage. Maybe, again, to me, the most balanced champion in League of Legends. Let me know what you think down below if you agree with me, disagree with me. If you disagree with me, let me know who you think is the most balanced champion in the game. And that's going to be it. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.